like our Halloween special. It'd be an annual thing. Like, the body count continues, Halloween special.
It's like our treehouse of horror.
Wait, who's that guy? There's someone else in here.
We're joined by a guest today, a very special guest,
Very.
real Shawn Hunt. Well, Shawn Hunt, but
Yeah.
real Shawn Hunt on
He
Twitter
is real.
and Instagram. And he is real. He's here with
In
us
theory.
today.
Well, thank you for
Realist.
having me.
Thank you for generously donating all of the art for our podcast. And if
Oh,
you
my
haven't
pleasure.
seen Shawn's work, then I suggest you give him a follow on Twitter or Instagram because he is very, very talented. He
funny.
is the creator of the poster for the very underrated movie Halloween Floats.
Yes,
Classic.
a movie that needs to be made.
Exactly. Like,
Actually, most of my work is movies I would love to see made, all of which are absurd.
I co-sign that for sure. I want to see They Queef. They Queef is probably my favorite fake movie poster.
what's They Queef?
It's
I don't remember
one
that
of
one.
it's one
It's They
of
Live.
creation.
Yeah, it was sort of like a
I remember it now. I remember the poster now.
And she's got her hand over her mouth like
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was basically like what's a porn film adaptation or
yes.
parody of another movie. Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's how
we
that
were
one started.
talking about horror porn parodies, and that was Shawn's contribution. They Queef. I would happily donate to a Kickstarter to make something like that
To me, They
a
Queef.
reality. Yes, I want to see
Why
They
not?
Queef.
I think Joanna
Yeah, I
Angel will be
later
in that one
updated
too.
it. I later updated it to They Too because I think to post it on Facebook or something. But
People post your posters on Facebook anyway, without
I
credit
see.
usually.
I see your work all over Facebook all the time.
Even if you don't follow Shawn, you'll see his work everywhere.
Yeah.
These parody posters, they're just amazing.
Most of which involve fart jokes. If you're not familiar with Shawn's work, the toilet humor is omnipresent, and we love that.
yeah,
We
I
love
would
toilet
say,
humor.
He's still in his teenage era in that sense.
yeah. Well, I mean, come on, who wants to be around people who don't think farts are funny?
Exactly. Farts are funny. You heard it here.
What's
It's all
the
about the
expression?
timing, really.
People that are offended by farts, they're missing out because there's still the same number of farts, just less laughs.
Oh my God.
That's one way of looking at it.
That's a great philosophy. I respect it.
But yeah,
I did-
essentially, if it wasn't for Shawn, you'd just be looking at clip art on Spotify and YouTube right now.
Pretty much.
Me and
Well,
Marianne
that-
aren't very good at that.
No.
So he's
I
sa-
actually only got into photoshopping like about probably around COVID.
yeah.
And
I was actually
basically,
going to ask you that.
it all started out like I would post stuff on Facebook, like pictures. And I was kind of testing to see if people were really looking at stuff I was posting. So I would add things either in the background or off to the side. If I'm standing outside, there's somebody falling from the sky in the far distance or something like that. And nobody, people would love it and they would, this is great, blah, blah, blah. But nobody would ever say anything about the person falling from the sky or whatnot. And I think only once did somebody ever ask, why is there a skunk in your living room?
It's like those videotapes where people don't notice the gorilla walking by in the background. You just
Yeah.
did that with posters.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I've that kind of started there, and then eventually I started doing that with movie posters, and then I just started getting into wanting to learn the whole aspects of photoshopping, so I could actually create what I hope would look like real movie poster art, but with an absurd twist. And now AI has come along, and now it's like I feel like I'll be out of work here.
They're
It's
fooling
funny
people with their
because
trailers.
I think
You
you
did it with
do fool
posters.
people with your posters. Like, there's a few times that I've had to do a double take.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
wait
I
a
get-
minute, is that? No, okay, that's Shawn. The
Yeah,
second I
people
see
have
your
taken them
name.
seriously before. I've seen Shawn
Absolutely.
post about it.
I
It's
just
become
like
a
to drop
topic of
them on-
discussion on Facebook or something.
I like to drop them on Facebook without any context just to see how people react. I mean, whereas like on Twitter, everybody, they know that's how I am. But when I drop it on Facebook, one of my favorites, and it was an early one I did, it was an old TV guide ad for the premiere of Halloween 2. And I changed it so that the tagline read, "If he hears you fart, you're dead." And it's that shot of Michael when he had, at the end when he turns his head and he's looking like he's looking at you.
Oh my
And
God.
people were just like in pandemonium over this. And my favorite, though, was these two guys were getting into this lengthy debate over how many people Michael actually had killed in the movie. and what his kill count was. And then finally somebody said, "How are you guys fighting over this when the word fart was used in a national publication?" So yeah,
The
that's
deception.
how I get
Didn't
my
you
little
get
kicks here.
banned? Didn't you get banned from like a Facebook group for one of your posters?
I've been kicked out
Oh,
a couple of times. One of them was, and it was probably timing on my part, but when after Halloween Ends came out, I did a
uh-oh.
mock-up poster. It was called Halloween Redo with the tagline about the last movie didn't happen. Seriously, uh, and then it's like starting over October 22nd. You know, like they were going back and trying again. When I went back to look at the reactions, I was gone. Yeah, I was kicked out. So I've been kicked out for and had stuff deleted for strange reasons and ones I'll never know. I don't know if you saw the one I did about the monkey. All I did was I photoshopped Cornelius's from Planet of the Apes, Roddy McDowell's character. I just kind of photoshopped his head over it. That one got deleted as being offensive, and I don't know if there's like some sort of cult of Cornelius out there, or I don't know who I offended with
Cult of
that one, but
Cornelius.
yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
Your posters are so funny.
They are funny. It's
People
so
just come out there with no
wild.
sense of humor. It's crazy.
It's so wild to me that they could be stirring up any kind of controversy because they're just meant to be funny.
I'll be
Some
seated for
people,
Halloween redo.
I'll be seated for Halloween floats. No,
Same.
legit. I want to see most of these movies made. And if you get offended by one of Sean's posters, fix your heart. Because come
Yeah.
on, it's just a joke. It's
You
not
like
a
whimsy.
dick. Don't take it so hard.
well, I
Yeah, I
think
could.
a lot of the ones I also tend to I think it works well within like say the horror community and things because most people out on the streets, the general public, don't remember movies like Brain Scan, and so when I'm doing a Brain Scan 2 where the trickster gets tricked into working somebody's shift for them at a convenience store.
I love
Most
that.
people don't pick up on who this character is supposed to be kind of thing. So a lot of it's very specific to horror in general, but
Yeah,
and
but
nerdy
Brain
horror even.
Scan Brain Scan is a classic. I
I like Brain
think
Scan.
if nothing else, when you share a poster like that, the younger generation of horror fans, you're just helping them to discover some lesser known titles. Brain Scan is so good.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't seen it since it first hit theaters back in what was it, 94, I think, 93, 94, somewhere in there. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I think
It was
modern
around that time,
horror dominates the conversation on social media these
Oh yeah,
days,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
for
Yeah.
it's a
sure.
bit sad to me, like not that it doesn't deserve its due, but I think people very easily forget. I don't say the origins because the 80s aren't the origins of horror, but I think the 80s is really when the genre just fucking exploded.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, the 80s, I think, is sort of like the golden age of horror in a lot of ways, but as well as the 70s. I think,
Yeah, I would say so
the
too.
70s were very experimental and, we got, now in some cases they went off the rails, but, movies like Texas Chainsaw and so forth. I mean, they were exploring new freedoms and you had all these indie filmmakers out there like Hooper and Romero and even Carpenter in his early years, kind of getting to work outside the system and influencing the system greatly, within the studio system later.
Yeah, before the
So
studios got overly involved,
yeah, yeah.
which to me is like the sign of the biggest sign of decline within the genre.
And if you look back at all the movies that are now hailed as modern classics and masterpieces over the 70s and 80s, I would say the vast majority of them were actually indie films or made outside of the studio system at the time. So, and that, and that, even movies like Friday the 13th, which were negative pickups at the studios, those were also, I still consider the early ones indie films. So,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Friday the 13th mentioned. We love it.
We're off to a great start.
We are, but we're here today to talk about our favorite Halloween movies. So we each picked a movie.
We did.
We did. Maybe we'll do a poll to see which one everybody likes best.
I feel like it's going to have an obvious winner, but we could do that.
I just want my ego stroked.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
used to losing polls against Marianne at this point. We've done it, I think, twice now, and I've lost both times. It's
Look,
whatever.
to be fair, you picked a banger this week.
I
This
did.
week.
This is true.
Yeah.
This week. See how she specifies twice. Wants to underline that point. Even
Jesus Christ.
a
sorry.
broken clock is right. twice a
Twice
day.
a day. Yes. No, I'm not slandering you at all.
No,
I
it's
love this
from one
movie.
of your favorite directors too.
Bite me.
Oh, okay, I took it too far. Like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun right there.
So what is your favorite movie to watch on Halloween?
It's Rob Zombie's debut film, House of 1000 Corpses, which
Banger.
which I know that is one of the few Rob Zombie movies that you enjoy, which is
Uh,
nice for me.
yeah. Well, it's not few. You have to stop putting misinformation out there. I
Okay.
like the Firefly trilogy and I like 31.
Did you like The Lords of Salem?
I'm kind of middle of the road on that one.
Okay. I
That's
like the
actually my
characters in
favorite
that.
of his.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I
I
need to
like the
give that one a
characters.
rewatch. It's been a while, but I really just don't like his Halloween, and I don't like the Munsters, and um, the
Monsters is a
world of
choice.
Super Beasto.
That was
Like
terrible.
you're acting like I only like a couple of his movies. I'd say it's like 50-50 with him.
Okay, but you do like this one. You do like his debut movie.
His original works are so good. It's when he adapts existing IP that I get really fucking angry. This one is really
Yeah.
good, but I personally prefer Devil's Rejects in this trilogy.
How about
Personally.
you, Shawn?
Actually, I think I would have to say I prefer House, largely because of Sid Haig. I feel like he kind of gets somewhat sidelined in Devil's Rejects, whereas I feel like in this one he's just, I'm going to be honest. I think Zombie's actually a decent director. I just don't think he's a very good writer, and
His
somehow
writing
though,
can be
Sid,
questionable.
very much. But I think somehow Sid Haig makes his dialogue seem like Shakespeare.
Yeah, he
That's how
delivers
I
it so
that's how I
well.
feel about Bill Moseley. I think the both of
Yeah,
them
and I
do.
think Mosley does a great job with his dialogue too. But no, I think this one is just. I think House is just so over the top zany. It's sort of at the time. I think 2003 to me kind of was like a watershed year for horror because we were kind of coming out of that whole post Scream meta slasher light
I was so
kind of
happy that we were
era.
coming out of that.
And that was 2003. We had Cabin. I think it was Cabin Fever came out that year.
Hell
The
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw remake, and then of course this one. And it seemed like we were kind of going back to that sort of 70s backwoods brutality kind of type of film. And this one sort of kind of balled all that. Not a perfect ball, but I felt like you could see all of his influences. Texas Chainsaw is obviously in there,
Yeah.
maybe even some Herschel Gordon Lewis and things like that. So I feel like this one was because it's so ramped up and over the top. I think I enjoyed this one more. That's not to
I,
say I didn't enjoy Devil's Rejects, but I just if I had to pick between the two,
it's fair. And
It's
I
close for me. I love them both.
you mentioned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. This is why I've always said I feel like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre would have been the appropriate franchise for him.
It was
I,
certainly more suited to his style and his aesthetic, which, as Shawn says, House of 1000 Corpses reflects that a lot.
the only reason he adapted Halloween was because the Weinsteins called him in the office and said, "What do you think of Halloween?"
The
So
Weinsteins. Enough
yeah,
said.
Who he hated, by the way, after he
yeah,
had to work with them. I mean, he
oh
accepted
yeah,
the
yeah.
offer, he took the job, but he hated having to actually work with them, and rightly so.
I always thought the Funhouse would have been a good one for him to remake. If he was going to remake one, I think his aesthetic would have worked really well with something like Funhouse. But yeah, and even Chainsaw as well. But yeah, Halloween was probably not his cup of tea in that regard.
It wasn't his style.
No,
Like I said, I would rather see more original work from him.
Yeah,
That's the stuff I tend to prefer. I don't know, like, it just seems like the most random IPs, like The Munsters, I don't wanna get into it because I really didn't like that movie, but, like, stop making movies as an excuse to hire your wife. Like, write a good story first, and if she fits into the story, that's great. She did not fit into The Munsters.
yeah, she didn't need to be Lily Monster.
Nope.
no.
Baby Firefly I love, and she's great in House of 1000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and even Free From Hell as far as I'm concerned. But these other roles that he's given her have been questionable, especially the monsters. That's the most questionable for me. Lords of Salem, she was great.
Yeah, and I even think she was the weak point in Lords of Salem because he had some great performances out of the other actors in that.
He had a
And
great cast as well.
and she's the protagonist, and she just does not carry that movie, unfortunately. But of his films, I think it's still my favorite. You could really see he was trying to push the limits of what he was comfortable with and kind of get into more an all Kenneth Anger type of uh, filmmaking. I felt like he started doing that a little bit in Halloween 2 with the dream sequences, and Lords of Salem felt like kind of a natural extension of that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I guess that's why, don't hate me, Miriam, but I guess that's why I wasn't a big fan of 31, um, because it felt like he was going backwards to me. I felt like he was starting to evolve a little more, and then he was going to have a harder time getting bankrolled. So with 31, that was a crowdfunded movie. So
Yeah.
just like Three from Hell. So I mean, he's kind of giving his fans what they want, and I totally get that. But yeah, I kind of hate seeing that he didn't start to evolve in a different direction that I looked like he was going towards.
I don't hate 30. I don't love 31. I just don't hate it. Like it's like middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I
I
can watch
don't
it.
like it. I It has rewatchability. I've watched it a few times. I will never watch The Munsters again. I will never
I
watch
get
that
it.
cartoon again. And I do question if I will ever watch Halloween 1 and 2 again, but I know I will because Nana's gonna make me at some point do an episode on both of these movies. We've
Mm.
Yeah,
discussed it, so I
probably.
will have to rewatch it. But
We're gonna do Halloween Ends too, so
I mean,
goes both
Oh my
ways.
god.
like, yeah,
She likes that movie.
it does go both ways, but like I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much because we're not talking about Rob Zombie tonight, but Michael Myers is a lot scarier when you don't feel sorry for him. I like the backstory of like he's abused. He lives in a very violent. He comes from a very violent household. He's beaten up at school. He's picked on at school.
By the kid from Spy Kids.
I know, right?
Yeah, and I don't wanna feel sorry for him. I don't wanna feel sympathy for him. He's scarier when it's like a switch flipped one day and he's just pure evil. Like Loomis's, monologue, "The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes." That's the only fucking backstory I need for Michael,
Yeah,
ever.
was it Carpenter said that he was just supposed to be like a dark force in nature. He didn't really see him as a character in that regard.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
yeah,
he was never a character originally.
yeah,
That's why they called him the Shape.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so
Well, if we are going to talk about Rob Zombie and certainly House of a Thousand Corpses, I think we should talk about
we
that one thing that I don't usually see a lot of people noting about his movies. And that's even more so than the dialogue is his predilection for wanting to show everybody his wife's ass.
I know, right? And
If you go
he
back,
certainly shows it in this movie.
and we thank him for it.
I mean, there are close-ups of Sherry Moon Zombie's ass in just about every Halloween or every zombie film, save maybe Halloween 2. Well, I assume, I don't know, I'll be honest, I haven't seen The Monsters yet. I've
You
heard
do
nothing
not see her ass in The
yeah,
Munsters.
No.
I was gonna assume you probably didn't in that one, but yeah, he and even in Lords of Salem, like she's just laying on the bed wearing nothing but a thigh-high socks, it's like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. But
To
Hey,
be
great,
fair, she
great
has a
scene.
very nice ass. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I'm not
Nana
complaining, but
thinks
I'm
it's
just saying
cinema.
yeah, I think he likes to let everybody else see that as well.
and we certainly get probably the most iconic shot of her ass in House of 1,000 Corpses when she's walking up to the liquor store.
Yep,
Yes.
the red lights.
The
That
aesthetic is so
that is
good, not
some
just because it's her
fucking
ass, but like the
no, that is
lighting and
some
the
top
colors.
tier cinematography, and I'm not just talking about her ass. I'm not just being a pervert. She does have a very nice ass, but that scene, it engages all the senses.
No, and I think that's probably another reason I should have cited too, was I really love the splashy colors, the style of House.
Yes.
Whereas with Devil's Rejects, he goes and I give him a lot of credit for this because he didn't just redo House of a Thousand Corpses. He came at it completely differently.
Yep.
I don't, going with more earth tone colors and just that barren look, even changing the looks of the characters.
Texas Chainsaw look.
Yeah, actually, he one of the things I'd read him talk about with Rejects in terms of the difference was he was very inspired by Terrence Malick's Badlands, which I think was '73. I think I don't know if you've
I
either of
don't
you
think
seen
I've
that.
seen that.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen it. It's
Of
great
yeah,
course you
movie.
have. You've seen everything.
Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek. It's a great movie, but Yeah, that was kind of what he took inspiration from, which is funny because, you know, when you look at House of a Thousand Corpses and the types of films that inspired it, you know, and then he goes to something like Badlands, which I definitely give him credit for that. But I think the flip side, I think House just feels more alive in that regard. It's almost like it's a carnival attraction in and of
Yeah,
itself.
that's one
Yeah,
of the things I like about it. It has a very carnival-esque atmosphere,
yeah,
and throughout the cinematography, as Marianne says, is great to me. There's lots of blue, there's lots of red, there's lots of purple,
You say
and
it
it's
has a
just
very,
so great to
like
look at for an indie movie,
you say it has, like, this carnival-esque atmosphere, which I agree. That's probably the most
especially in the
eloquent.
sporting sections.
Yeah, that's probably, like, the most eloquent way to put it. For me, it feels like an acid trip.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a very
There is that
freewheeling
aspect
movie.
too.
It just looks like the entire movie is a drug-induced hallucination, and I don't say that in a negative way. It makes for a very visually interesting movie from start to finish,
And who could
and
forget Dear
then
Fish Boy?
okay, I was literally just gonna fucking name drop Fish Boy. How did you know?
Same brain, you know?
I love Fish Boy. I feel like you have a different appreciation for Fish Boy if you watched The Office. And Rainn Wilson is brilliant as Dwight, but his character is the most annoying, insufferable pain in the ass you could ever fucking imagine. So I enjoyed seeing him get turned into Fish Boy.
I mean, he's a bit annoying here too. Like, he annoys
He
Spaulding
is.
with his questions.
But nobody can touch Dwight. Like, Dwight is the most annoying creature on the planet. I swear to God.
I've never watched The Office, so I'll take your word for it.
Either the British or the American.
No,
Yeah.
I've not watched either.
It's
Mm,
based on a show with Ricky Gervais
Yeah.
from the UK. Hey, that rhymes.
it does.
House of a Thousand Corpses takes place on October 30th, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yes, it does take place on
it's
Halloween.
basically a
When
Halloween movie.
back in the day when a movie would come out in theaters and then you would get the unrated version, uh, you know,
Yep.
when it came out on video, he promised there was going to be an unrated version with all the stuff that was cut out, and it's been what 22 years.
Oh,
I still hope before I leave this mortal coil that somebody will find a existing copy of Lon Chaney's London After Midnight.
Oh,
That would be
exactly.
nice.
Yeah, I think
oh my
the
God.
best they have right now is like a 20-minute compilation of stills,
Yeah, I
which
saw
I've
that actually.
watched,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the whole
that's a
movie
It's
would
shame.
be
not the
nice.
same. Yeah.
No, no. Hey, check those addicts, guys. You never know what you might find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you know what grandma was packing?
No, honestly, that's a shame because, like, I feel the same. I would want to see the director's cut of this movie. I mean, even the theatrical version is fucked up. All Rob Zombie movies are fucked up. But, like, the idea that I could see him take it to the next level, why would you not put that out? Like, horror fans would eat that shit up.
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course,
get,
especially
like,
in this era.
exactly. All the re-releases, fucking box set of Nightmare on Elm Street selling out. Like, people are eating this stuff up. Everybody's always buying. That's what kills me, and my wallet. You buy something, you buy a DVD, and then 5 years later, or not even, like 2 years later, here's the extended cut.
right.
And then another 5 years later, 10 years later, here's the 10th anniversary edition. Fuck y'all for that. Like, for real.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many copies of Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, and whatnot I have just because they kept coming out with new editions.
It's
Evil Dead,
Halloween
yeah.
especially, it's like every 5 years,
or
And
a
the
new
not even,
anniversary
yeah,
edition.
it's insane.
yeah.
Anchor Bay, yeah, pumped them out.
And there's no Halloween is the only one without a definitive box set. Like, you have the 50th anniversary box set of Texas Chainsaw. You have the Scream Factory box set of Friday. You
Yeah.
have the new
Oh, they have the Scream
4K,
Factory of Halloween, but that actually came out before Friday.
but it doesn't have all the movies. Like, it doesn't have the DGG
Well,
trilogy.
no, because it
Yeah,
actually
no.
came out before
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh,
there's
okay,
no
yeah. In
current
that regard, yeah,
comprehensive collection for
right,
Halloween.
right. But yeah, they did a great job with the Scream Factory one. I thought.
But, like, and I love this. It's honestly, it's the reason I haven't bought. There's many reasons I haven't bought the Friday the 13th Scream Factory box set. Money is always at the top of the list. The conversion rate fucking kills me,
Mhm.
and then the shipping. But now I have no choice because it's going out of print.
Well,
Well, you
But
you
go
need
for it.
to. They look gorgeous. They
I
really did it. They
no,
did an amazing job with them.
I'm making it my mission. I will have it before it goes out of print. And if I don't, I'll pay a reseller price. It is what it is. Like I have to have it.
I
But
Yeah,
believe
they've
in you.
added all this extra content. And like,
yeah.
can you just give me everything there is all at once? Like I will happily pay, a higher price for like a really nice steel book, but give me all the fucking extras.
Yeah, extras are harder to come by now. I've noticed most Blu-ray releases don't tend to have, unless it's Scream Factory. A lot of them don't
Yeah,
tend to put extras on anymore, which is a shame.
it is. And I know they exist somewhere. And then when they find them, they trot them out and it's an excuse to charge, $20 more than I paid for my last disc.
I
It's a little bit infuriating.
mean, if they find the extra stuff for House of 1,000 Corpses, I'll probably pay for it.
Exactly. We all
It's
would.
just it's
Like,
the same principle as like the iPhone. You got to keep buying a new one every couple of years because it's outdated.
Oh, yeah, okay, I feel that.
not me,
Got to
I'm
get
on
the
Android.
4K.
He's an Android, so he doesn't get it, but I am an Apple whore. I have the phone, I have 2 iPads, I have the
Just Apple.
AirPods, I have the watch, Apple everything. Their stuff is good quality, to be fair. In the recent years, like, I kinda pissed that I can't get a fucking charging cord with my phone anymore. Like,
You
back in
can't.
the day, when you got an iPhone, you'd get a charger
Everything
and
you
you'd
needed,
get fucking earphones.
but no
Like,
instruction booklet.
yeah, but I didn't need the instructions. I just wanted the accessories. And now I get a phone and a charging cube with no fucking wire. I'm not even
Fabulous.
joking. Like I got the cube, but I have to buy the wire separately and there's no more headphones.
Doesn't happen with Android, by the way. Just saying.
No, Androids just explode.
Like, Apple have
Like
this less is more philosophy, which I
they
don't get.
explode.
Yes, Androids explode.
That was
Like
years ago.
Pintos. I think I just dated
It's,
myself with that
it's never
It
statement.
happened to
was
me.
no, it hasn't happened to you. And yes, it was years ago, but people like sleep with their phone under their
Nothing's ever
pillow and
exploded in my ear.
it would explode or some shit. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Luckily, I didn't have to pay too close attention because I have an Apple phone.
What do you think about the characters in House of 1,000 Corpses? Because I kind of enjoy them, but people tend to shit on the protagonists a
I
lot.
mean,
Like
the
Mary.
Fireflies?
No,
Oh.
not the actual villains, but like
Oh,
Mary and
the
the
Utes.
other people. I forget all
You're
their names, but like
you're talking about the Utes,
the youths.
Denise, Harry, Hill, and Mary, I
Yeah,
believe.
I
But
enjoy them.
yeah,
Don't press
I
eight times.
I mean, they're okay. I watch for the Firefly family.
Yeah, I know the women are quite whiny, but
I watch for
I
Spalding
think it
and
plays in.
Otis and
Yeah, they're the scene
Mother
stealers,
Firefly
no
and
question.
Baby Firefly, they're like, they're cannon fodder. I'm just waiting for them to die. Like, they're not super annoying. They're not
Yeah,
super interesting. They're kind of mid, I guess.
One in my recent rewatch, I was actually surprised that the character of Jerry, who by the way was named after Jerry Goldsmith, the composer, which I thought was interesting. But I didn't realize that was Chris Hardwick, who, if you watched Walking Dead, he hosted a show on AMC afterwards called Talking Dead. I think he did the
Yep.
same with Breaking Bad, Talking Bad, or something. So
yeah.
I that kind of threw me for a loop. And then of course Walton Goggins is in it also, but he's been around forever.
It's the cop who eventually gets shot in that overhead angle
Yes,
that we see.
which a lot of people had. I remember that was at the time that came out. A lot of people were bitching about that scene.
Because
And
of
Oh.
of
how
course it
long
was
it
an
goes on
obvious
for.
homage to Halloween and the opening of Halloween. But yeah, a lot of people had issue with that. Like they were celebrating his death, I think is what critics were saying.
Oh my god. I love Walt Goggins. He was really good he was on the most recent season of White Lotus,
I
and
haven't
he was really good
watched.
on that. And he's also in Fallout.
Okay.
I've heard he's great in that, but I haven't watched it.
I,
Yeah, same. I haven't watched it.
I don't think I've actually watched much stuff with him in. House of 1,000 Cups is the main one. I mean,
Have you seen Hateful
I've
Eight,
seen.
Tarantino?
I have not. I mean, I've seen some pictures of him on social media. They're quite flattering.
No,
He's fantastic.
he's a good looking dude.
I
He's
mean,
fantastic in
he's a
Hateful
dude, all
Eight.
right. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I liked him, and I don't like Hateful Eight. It's not one of my favorite Tarantino movies, but
I'm so
he
behind on
definitely
Tarantino.
played one of the standout characters in that movie.
Yeah, like the recent Tarantino movies, I've not watched any of them really since Inglourious Bastards. Maybe I should.
Okay, this might be a controversial take.
Okay, let's go.
I find his most recent films to be unwatchable due to his deep admiration or love, or I don't even know what you want to call it, but he loves the fucking N-word.
Yeah,
And
Hateful Eight is definitely replete with that.
it's unwatchable. Like it's just gross. It turns my stomach.
You're more of a Reservoir Dogs girl than Hateful Eight
I love
Well, you
or
know,
Reservoir
Pulp Fiction.
Dogs. I find Pulp Fiction to be overrated.
oof.
I kind of feel the opposite.
I think I'm
Reservoir Dogs
losing
didn't do much for
connection.
me. Sean's about to rage quit the podcast.
Kill Bill and Reservoir Dogs are probably my favorites. I don't hate Pulp Fiction. I remember, I think it was my dad who showed it to me, and he was like, "This is one of the greatest films ever made." And I like prepared for absolute cinema.
Yeah, it's a bit of hype.
Yeah, it was like, and then when it was over, I was just like,
You sure about that, Pops?
it was good.
I think Hateful Eight is probably my second or third favorite movie of his.
Oh,
You know, what's interesting to me about the movie is it's if you look at it, it's really a Western remake of The Thing, Carpenter's The Thing. And I think that was kind of this whole angle with it, or a big part of it. You know, the paranoia, these people being trapped in in the blizzard, and hell, it even has Kurt Russell in it. I also love too because he does a lot of needle drops of Ennio Morricone, who did a lot of the spaghetti western scores, but he also did the score for The Thing, and there is a needle drop from The Thing in there as well. But the way he builds tension through dialogue, I'm more of a show don't tell kind of guy, but he makes dialogue so pertinent. Um, and and if we want to take this back to Zombie, I feel like Zombie has been very inspired by Tarantino. I just don't think he just does not have that knack for dialogue. But
yeah, it's
even in
similarly
meaningless, what
blunt,
seems
just not as good.
Yes.
in seemingly meaningless conversations that you might see on the surface, there's actually a lot of storytelling going on underneath, and I think he's one of the best in terms of dialogue. Obviously, minus the N word situation.
He's incredibly talented. I'm not going to argue with you there. I don't know. The Hateful Eight, even Inglorious Bastards, I don't know what's up with him lately. It's just, there seems to have been a drop off for me personally.
You didn't
I
like Once
heard that
Upon a
he,
Time in Hollywood?
I
yeah,
did.
Okay,
I
yeah,
did.
that
I am a big fan of
I
the
never watched.
Mikey Madison Dying by Fire cinematic universe.
yes, yes.
Big
Happened
fan.
twice so far. I mean, I guess technically in Scream she didn't die that way, but it still happened.
Yeah, she
She
got set
better.
on fire twice. I find that fact so interesting, and I don't know why. But yeah,
I'm
I
sad that
liked Once Upon a Time in
I'm sad
Hollywood.
that he abandoned his idea of doing like a Paulie and Kale movie. As a film nerd,
The Critic, yeah.
yeah, I would have watched that, but
I would love for him to do a horror
I
movie.
don't know
I
if he's
think that
abandoned it.
scene at the Spawn Ranch and Once Upon a Time was so tense, and I thought, man, he could
Yeah,
really do a banger. I mean, if you want to consider Death Proof a horror movie, to me, it's kind of more a car exploitation kind of movie.
it's
But
borderline.
yeah, I see some people listed as that. But I mean, to each their own. But I would love to see him just. I was always hoping he would do like a full on horror movie, at least
Yeah, I'd
one.
be seated for
But
that.
Yeah, same. And I love the Grindhouse movies, but Planet Terror was the horror movie.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I agree. Death Proof. I love Death Proof. I'm not shitting on Death Proof.
It's like an action thriller, really, though.
Yeah, but with exploitation vibes, like Shawn said, and
Yeah,
I like them both. I happen to prefer Planet Terror. The effects and the cast and the whole
yeah.
story.
I love
Brolin.
all the gooey practical effects that they have in that movie.
I love watching
It's so
Quentin
great. It's just so
Tarantino's
gross.
dick fall off.
At least it wasn't somebody's foot. That would have
He's
really
like
upset him.
trying to fucking force himself on Rose McGowan's character, and yeah,
Many
he
such
gets
cases.
he gets his instant karma and his dick falls off. And the effect of it, like you say, everything's gooey, right? And I
Mhm.
it's like clear as day in my head. It looks like this gelatinous
Just
mass and it's
just
just
sloughing
falling,
off.
hanging. Yeah. It's such a
Is that
great
what you
scene.
picture? He still looks like naked.
I
Close
don't
enough.
the only thing I picture is him like sniffing someone's foot.
Or licking it, or
Yeah,
sucking it.
licking it, sucking it. He's definitely got a toe in
Taking
his
photos
mouth.
of it. Yeah.
Casting Salma Hayek just to do that.
You know, so he can drink
Yeah.
tequila off her foot. Oh my god. Quentin Tarantino is such a weirdo, and I love it.
I saw an interview with Bill Moseley recently, and I'm sure he's probably discussed this at conventions. Um, but it was the first time I'd heard him talking about it, about how when he took on the role, he basically started out playing Chop Top.
Yeah,
And for the first several days, he was like still in this Chop Top mode. And
which you can kinda
um,
see in a couple of
yeah,
scenes.
but Zombie pulled him aside and could see what he was doing and pulled him out of that and got him to refocus on who the character really was and it completely from that point forward he knew exactly who the character was and I do think Zombie is actually a good actor or a good director, especially working with actors.
Yeah,
He has gotten some amazing performances. One that jumps to mind is Brad Dourif in Halloween 2. I think is probably one of the
Yes.
best
absolutely.
performances I've seen from him, and I've seen him in a million things.
Yes.
He was just phenomenal, and it didn't matter to him that this was a slasher sequel. He really went out there and gave it his all. And even Bruce Davidson in Lords of Salem, I think, is really good.
Agree.
So he can pull great performances out of actors. It's just I think it's I've always felt it's his writing. I felt like if he could, since he obviously wanted to make the movies, and I think he should make the movies he wants to tell, the stories he wants to tell. But I always felt like if he had just a solid writing partner with him who could rein him in a little and clean up his dialogue a little. I don't even necessarily mean
Yeah,
the
I feel
expletives. I
like
just mean make
Marianne
it.
said that to me before as well.
Yeah.
He needs a
No.
writing partner.
No, but it's true. It would elevate his work.
Oh, I thought you meant about you. Like she
No.
needed to rein you in,
Oh,
and
she
Oh,
reins me in all the
always,
time.
yeah,
always.
yeah, I get
But
you.
but no, I've said it before that yeah, if he had a good writer, more solid writer helping him, it would just elevate his work
Yeah,
to a whole new
yeah,
level. I
yeah.
mean, not that it's bad. Like this for me, I don't watch it every year on Halloween. I do rewatch it. It has a lot of rewatchability.
Yeah,
There's one movie that I watch on Halloween. We'll get to that a little bit later, but
momentarily.
it's not this. So,
Well, that would spoil the episode if we all picked the same
Yeah, I've
movie.
probably seen this maybe a handful of times. I liked it a lot when it first came out, but over the years, I don't think it's aged as well. But one of the things that does bring me back to it in particular is I think Sid Haig is just
yep.
amazing in it, and he
Absolutely.
is so captivating every time he's on screen.
Well, all three of them
That
are. Even
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Karen
and
Black
that's no
too. Like
yeah,
it's there's not a bad
It's a
character
shame she got recast.
in this. Yeah, there's no
yeah,
bad characters in this movie. So but I agree. Sid Haig definitely stands out. Mosley also, but there's no bad
a lot of
characters
love
in
for
this
Bill.
movie. They're all
I thought
very interesting, except maybe again the Utes. They're kind
I
of
thought Bill really shined,
yeah.
especially though in Devil's Rejects, which
100%.
I I felt like Sid Haig was his part in it was a little
He took a back
pushed to
seat.
the side,
Yeah.
but I thought Bill Moseley filled that void. I thought he
Yeah.
did a really
That
Well,
good
was
I
job
really
with
the
that.
yeah.
Bill Moseley movie, The Devil's Reject.
More of a Manson-esque, yeah, and there was a definite change in the character
Well, it's funny. I
between the
think
two.
that isn't that done intentionally though? Where House of a Thousand Corpses is Spalding's movie, Devil's Rejects is Otis's movie, and Three from Hell is Baby's movie.
Yeah,
I could see that.
I feel like it was an intentional choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I also love Richard Brake in Three from
Yeah.
Hell. He's really. I
Well,
mean,
you mentioned 31. He was the best part of 31
yes,
to me. That opening
absolutely.
monologue was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Yeah,
my
they kind
favorite
of had
part.
to improvise a lot on Free From Hell because of Sid Haig's health. But Richard
Yeah.
Brake came in and he really filled the role nicely, in my
Yeah, I'm
opinion.
not
It's not a
crazy about
perfect movie.
yeah, I'm not
He
about
did
the
good.
movie as a whole, but I thought he fit in with the group nicely.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
choices were made in that movie. Not all of them
Look,
great,
you
but
you
they
can't
did.
replace Sid Haig at the end of the day,
Absolutely
but
not.
I think what he turned out with, again, minimal screen time from Sid Haig because of his health.
Yeah.
It's not my
No,
favorite.
I agree.
It's my third favorite of the trilogy, but I still like it. I
Okay.
rewatch it.
Yeah, it's probably the same for everyone, really. At least people that
See,
enjoy the series.
if you ever want to hear me glaze Rob
Okay,
Zombie,
I do.
let's watch Firefly movies.
Okay,
And
noted.
then I'll be nice. If you want to talk about Halloween,
Hey, maybe
then
on
I'm
Halloween,
gonna be a bitch.
maybe I'll rope you into my rewatch.
Yeah, you don't want to get me going on Halloween 2007. So
That's
No,
okay.
well,
Marianne hates it too. I'm on an
I don't
island with
actually.
that
I don't
movie.
hate it. I respect what he was trying to do, and I will say of all of them, of all the remakes, that we got in the OOs. That one at least felt like it had the director's personal stamp on it. Um,
And Halloween 2
in that
especially, I
regard,
felt that was the
yeah,
case.
because a lot of those Platinum Dunes ones were, music video directors who were graduating on to feature films. That was kind of the whole reason behind its setup. And, there were some good ones in there, obviously, oh 03 Chainsaw and whatnot. But at least with the zombie one, you felt like he was trying to make it his own. It just, that material, I don't think gelled overly well with, his aesthetics and everything. And
Yeah,
No.
well, that's
people
that's kind
screaming.
of that's kind of how I feel about it, and I like it a lot more than the two of you do. But I do sort of appreciate it in the same way that a lot of people appreciate Halloween Ends or Halloween 3, in the sense that it tries to do something different than the sequels that were essentially rehashing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I respect it
Okay.
for that much, but I know
Okay.
people have mixed feelings. Marianne's
Listen, listen,
friends
I will
side.
agree to that. That's fair because I like Halloween Ends, so I have to agree.
Yes. If you like
So,
Halloween Ends, you have to agree.
but here's here's
Damn.
here's the problem. Here's where I'm going
Okay.
to call out a little bit of hypocrisy on your part.
Damn. Here we go.
You should feel the same about Halloween Ends then.
Well, no, because I didn't enjoy Halloween Ends.
But okay, but
I
enjoyment
appreciate
doesn't
that it
matter.
I
You have
appreciate they
to
tried
appreciate
something
it.
different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm saying you have to appreciate that it took some big swings.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't dismiss that. I just don't
Yeah,
think
sure.
the swings were very good. Like, there were swings and
That's fine.
misses,
That's fine.
which
Like
is
I
how you
said,
feel about Halloween
Yeah, I'm not going to
yeah.
say
27.
anything about Halloween Ends because my AirPods might die out by the time we finish this.
Look,
If I get on that rant,
You
but
can't
I
annoy her any more than I've annoyed her over this movie, don't
no,
worry.
you can't. Well,
Hey,
yeah. What? I'm agreeing.
you don't have to agree with everything I say.
Okay, well, look, ultimately, I do respect that it took some big swings. Look, my only issue is the backstory. Like, tell your gritty, dirty version of it. That's fine. I don't need, and I know you're going to hate me for saying this, I don't
Okay?
need the character of Ronnie. I don't need, I'm sorry, I
Ivan
don't
Ronnie,
need your wife.
the king
I
of
do,
comedy.
like, I don't need your wife. You want to put some, like, trashy, low class version of Judith in the movie? Go right the fuck ahead. Judith was in the original. But all the rest, and I get it, like, it's satisfying to watch him kill Ronnie. There's, like, two sides to it, but mainly, I don't need to see all this. I don't need to feel sorry for him.
You don't want the origin story
I don't want the
that's
origin story. You know the scene I did like, though? In the hospital, when he kills the nurse.
the second one.
in Halloween 2.
Isn't that the first one?
Oh, you're talking about Sybil Danning. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, I believe it's out
With the
yeah, he
fork.
yes, that's the
Yeah,
first one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that scene. That to me is part of what he did right with that movie.
I always forget with Sybil Danning.
He added something that had his own touch. It wasn't in the first movie. It's just improvised because honestly, we've never really seen anything of that part of his life from after he stabbed his sister to the time that he spent at Smith's Grove. We never really saw any of that. Like those kinds of scenes were fun for me. He could have added stuff like that and just gotten rid of all the family crap. And then his mother killing herself. The original Halloween is a fun watch for me. It's got this great Halloween vibe. This is the other problem I have with Zombies version.
Mhm.
It doesn't have the Halloween vibes. And I'm not
Well,
You
talking
don't
you
about the
think so?
movie.
Even in the second half, you
I'm
don't
not talking
think?
about the movie. I'm talking about the holiday.
well, you're okay.
It doesn't feel Halloweeny, whereas the original, it's got that vibe, that fall
I felt
vibe.
like it did in the latter half with the Laurie aspect of the story. Guess maybe you disagree. I mean, speaking of the Halloween franchise, though, should we move on to the next pick?
Yeah, I think I might have just spoiled one of the entries there. I apologize.
It's
That's
okay.
okay. So yeah, I'll throw it to you, Shawn. What's your favorite movie to watch on Halloween?
Well, actually, Halloween is one of them, for sure. One of my all-time favorite movies. But another one I always am insisted upon watching is Halloween 3, which is my favorite of the sequels. Um,
Cinema.
Bold.
absolute. Yeah, I grew up in an era when Halloween 3 was considered vile, was heavily hated upon for not featuring Michael Myers. There's a story I had read that when the movie was released, I think it was a theater in Brooklyn, opening weekend. The crowd became so agitated and angry once they realized that this had nothing to do with the first two films that they pulled the chairs up out of the floor and threw them through the screen.
Oh my
Wow,
days.
So yeah, uh,
that's
that's passion.
crazy.
That is passion.
I
They
can see it.
they turned
I
into
mean,
angry sports fans.
from what I
Yeah.
from what I understand, Carpenter had always set out to make each installment a different Halloween-related story,
Uh,
but he was forced by producers to put Myers in the second one after the success of the first, and I think that's why he ended up blowing up Myers and Loomis because he wanted to be done
yeah,
with
he
them,
wanted to end it.
and then shifted to producing Season of the Witch, which is the direction he had originally wanted to go in. And
I
then
mean,
Season of the Witch ended up failing because of the lack of Michael Myers. So then
Well,
in the next
I
installment, Myers and Loomis are back with little explanation.
yeah, it was great. It worked for me. I don't think the original plan was the anthology route, though. I think he just wanted to make a movie and move on.
I think, as I understand it, when he made The Fog, I believe he had talked to, or was originally going to make it with Erwin Yablowitz, the producer of the original Halloween, and he ended up making it with AFCO Embassy, and so Yablon
Hmm.
sued, or was in the process of suing because of that. So as a deal, Carpenter agreed to make Halloween 2, which he did not want to make. And ultimately, that's why when he made Halloween 2, he wanted to make sure that Michael was dead.
Finish it off.
They weren't coming back from Loomis is gone, it's over. And so when
It's not how
Halloween 3
slashers
came
work,
around,
John.
yeah, I think that's when the anthology ideas came up because he had no interest in revisiting Michael Myers. But,
Until 2018.
yeah, until 2018. But what's interesting though with Halloween 3 is Carpenter was always a huge fan of British science fiction writer Nigel Neal, and that's actually who wrote. He reached out to him, and he wrote the initial screenplay, which was this idea of merging magic and technology together on its own is unique, especially for the time. But of course, a lot of the ideas and probably thought to be too cerebral. A lot of stuff got rejected, and when he saw the direction they were going with the movie, he wanted nothing to do with it and wanted his name taken out. Now I know Carpenter did a second draft or his own screenplay. He's also not credited. It's only Tommy Lee Wallace is credited. I'm not really sure how much changes there are between what Carpenter wrote and what Wallace did, but
Hmm.
ultimately, that's Wallace was credited as sole writer. And actually, Wallace was offered the directorial gig for Halloween 2 first, and he turned it down because he felt, all the work that they had done. He was editor, production designer on Halloween, and he was so proud of the work they had done on Halloween that he did not want to go back and mess with that.
I
Uh, but he
understand that.
but he totally
I
was in
mean,
love with the idea of the anthology. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this is what's funny to me at the time. It did actually make money. If you look at its
It
budget,
did.
and it did turn a profit, but
I
it's
think that's
just
the
that it made
profit
less than
from
Halloween 2.
yeah, well, I think the profit was just the existing fans.
name
Probably, yeah,
recognition.
yeah, yeah.
That's the same thing that happened with New Beginning. It didn't
Hmm.
bomb at the box office. I mean, people were lining up to see Jason,
And it
same
made them
as
mad.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's funny, the bait and switch. And I think both of them were hated and both of them have followed this similar path where now they have this cult status and yeah, they're not
Sure.
like the
Okay.
rest, but who cares?
Oh,
But the another thing it's interesting, and I only just found this out recently. In fact, I think I know my first exposure to it was I was 11 when that came out, so I didn't see it in theaters, obviously, and I didn't have anybody that would sneak me into theaters, rather. Movie novelizations were a big thing back then, and, which is, uh, a lost art now, especially for writers, because a lot of writers could come on and, get their writing chops, doing these novelizations, sometimes under different pen names. But, I read the novelization to Halloween 3, and I did just found out that that one I Now I could be wrong. I believe it went to number 1,
Yeah, it was a huge success.
and I know they had at
Wow.
least 3 printings of it, so it was actually,
Yeah.
a very popular paperback. But,
I
that
think
was
that's
my
what
first exposure.
kickstarted, the surge of popularity for the movie.
Yeah, and I it took a while for the movie to finally really catch on. I saw it on HBO the year after it came out at a friend's house, and I loved it. I just thought it was so bizarre
So you
and
were always
so
on board with it then?
I was in the minority, very fringe minority, but I mean, back then we didn't have the internet, so, you couldn't, like, go on to social media and say, "I think Halloween 3 is actually a good movie," and then people would, "I do too," that just didn't
There was
exist
none of
back
that.
then. You
I
were
mean,
isolated.
at least you weren't getting mobbed either for saying that you like this unpopular movie.
Well, I like to tell the story about how I think it was in the early '90s. I was at a party. I was in my early 20s at the time, and I met this young lady, and she was actually into horror movies. We
Nice.
were sitting on the couch, and we were having this amazing conversation. We talked for about an hour, and I was attracted to her, and I was feeling good vibes, and I'm thinking, wow, this could be somebody special. We've got so much in common. And then
I know.
I ruined it all by blurting out, "Oh, I love Halloween 3."
Shawn,
No.
And, the look on her face dropped, and I think I'm gonna go get another drink, and
she
that was the
dried
last
up
thing.
immediately.
So I
Oh
have literally
my
suffered over this
god.
movie, but
That is wild.
Do you still blame
yeah,
Tom Atkins?
the Halloween 3 hate was real, back then,
That's
Wow.
wild.
but,
Struck
Yeah.
out because of Halloween 3?
the interesting thing was, I remember when I, first
You
started
don't
getting
you
on
don't
the
need that kind of negativity in your life anyways.
No,
Screw
no.
that. You can do
Around
better.
the I wanna say the late '90s when I first started getting on the internet, and I remember IMDb when it first came along, it had their bottom 250, which I believe they still
Oh
have,
my
Yeah,
god.
and,
they do.
uh, and Halloween 3 was like, I wanna say it was somewhere in the bottom 10. I could be
Oh
That's
wrong, but it was
my
somewhere in that.
yeah,
god,
that's crazy. I
no.
mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it personally, but
But
it's nowhere near that.
No, 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 and I
Like, come
looked
on
it up
now.
recently, and now I wanna say it's 5.5, 5 points in the star obviously, it's well out of the to fit, but when you
Surged at
stop
least.
and think about how many votes it took to steer that out of the 1 star that it had back in
Yeah.
over 20 years, that's actually really insane, that it's now essentially favorable. It's in the top,
Yeah.
it over 5 now is actually incredible, but I think that that resurgence or that I often credit that to, and I think we mentioned it earlier, but was when it used to play on the AMC as part of that. They used to play the first 5 Halloween movies.
For Fear
At
Fest.
Fear Fest, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And they did that every year, and I think that's how people really began to discover it, also began to stop worrying about the fact that Michael Myers wasn't in it because he's been in every other one since.
He shows up on a television set once, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
have a theory. I mean, I could be wrong. Look, a lot of the movies that have come out since Halloween 3 are not
mhm,
that great. I'm
mhm,
looking at Part 6. I'm
mhm.
looking at H2O, which I have, like, sentimental love for, but it's kind of
It hasn't aged
not
well.
it's not great. It's not a great it's not one of, like, the highlights of the franchise. Resurrection.
Mhm.
So I do wonder if the appreciation didn't come a little bit from the fact that there were worse movies that followed.
Some comparison, maybe.
Yeah,
I'll say one thing, my 3rd favorite Halloween movie is Halloween 4, and I think Halloween 4
same.
is
It's probably
really
the same for me.
a great horror
Hell
film in general.
yeah.
Um, which is very funny because they made they made it a strong point to let the world know that Michael Myers is in this movie, the return of Michael Myers. In fact,
Yep.
I remember driving down the main road next to the theater where it was playing, and you could still see his face from that poster all the way out onto the street because that's how much they wanted to make sure that, you knew he was gonna be in this movie.
We're
But
sorry, guys.
It
It's
must have made a
fine.
lot of
yeah, yeah,
money
like
just
Jason
by
Lives, it's like,
just
yeah,
well,
he's back.
Jason Lives didn't do good financially, though.
Yeah, but they wanted to make it a point to let everybody know, "Oh, he's
Yeah.
back,"
Yeah. It wasn't Roy Lives.
but Although there's many that would argue Jason Lives was one of the best, Friday the 13th
It
movies as well.
We
is, and
would.
it
But
hurts my heart that it didn't do well financially.
I felt Halloween 4 was a really strong outing, so you would think that that would accentuate, "Look what they did with Halloween 3 when they could have done this," kind of thing, you know? But yeah, I do think you're right. I mean, I think over time, the lackluster follow-ups and whatnot. But I think also too, by this point, you know, some people probably ignored it, thinking, "Oh, well, Michael's not even in it, I'm not gonna watch this one." And then
Yeah.
discovered it through whether Fear Fest or video or however. But it's really neat to see how that movie has just completely bounced back and now has this huge
Yeah.
following. I mean, I went to a convention 2 years ago and Tom Atkins was there, Stacey Nelkin, Tommy Lee Wallace. You know, I got to meet with them and take pictures with them. And I was thinking, my God,
Mhm.
the craziness. If you'd have told me, you know, when that girl walked out on me, that one day people would be celebrating this movie, you know, there was even a panel for it and it was packed, you know, I
Yep.
mean, I wouldn't have believed it. That there'd be merchandise for it, I wouldn't have believed it, but it's really amazing that the film is found. And I think a
Yeah.
big part of that is, well, not just Tom Atkins, well, a lot of Tom Atkins, but
Yes.
I think it's the only I've said
We
this
love Tom
before,
Atkins.
it's it's the only Halloween movie that is about Halloween. You could actually set the original Halloween on Labor Day. You know, Michael could have come home a week later on National Donut Day, and
Wow.
there really wouldn't be a huge
Ouch.
change in the
How about
story,
Bagel
though.
Day?
Yeah, or yeah, it could be yeah, but it wouldn't. I'm saying is in terms of the story. Now, the
Yes.
atmosphere and everything is there, absolutely, but and it was, you know,
It wasn't a movie about Halloween. I get what
right.
you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that also plays a huge role in why it's found its audience over the years.
'Cause it's a
So,
seasonal movie, really.
No, it
absolutely,
is,
yeah.
absolutely, and I'm like, I'm one of those who's kind of guilty of writing it off. The first time I saw it, I rented it
Mhm.
when I decided to start doing the Halloween franchise, and I was pissed off, 100%. I was pissed off. I was like, "What the hell is this doo-doo?"
Mm.
And I was like, "Never again." And I think I went back to the video store the very next day to rent part 4, and I ended up watching it not on AMC. We didn't have like, we have AMC in Canada now, but, like, back in the days of, like, the birth of Fear Fest,
Mhm.
I think you had to probably have one of the most expensive satellite dishes in the world to have those kinds of
Uh,
channels. Like, we were very limited, but I saw it on, I guess, Canada's answer to Fear Fest, which I don't even remember what it was called because the channels that it used to air on are now defunct.
CMC, Canadian Movie Channel?
No, there were movie channels, there was 4 of them, and every channel was always showing, like, a different genre,
Mm.
and there was one that was dedicated to horror, and in October, they had this festival, I forget what it was called, but it was all horror movies, and then they do franchise marathons, and it was there that I rewatched 3, and it was probably a good 10 years after I'd watched it the first time, and yeah, that's what kinda drew me back in, was the fact that it was about Halloween. I like the
Right.
Halloween vibes. The only thing I really don't like about it is that fucking jingle. Um,
Lone Bridge is Falling Down?
yeah, I rewatched it, a couple of weeks ago, I think, and yeah, that's really the only part that, like, I have to cover my ears. They picked London Bridge is Falling Down because it was public domain.
Yeah, yeah.
Cheap asses. But it's so annoying. No, like, it's so annoying.
You know, that's, Tommy Lee Wallace doing the narration of that.
Yes, I know. It's crazy. So what
Yeah.
about you, Nana?
What
Did
about
you like
me?
it the first time you watched it, or were you don't
No,
seem converted because you said you don't love it.
no, I didn't like it first time I watched it.
Oh,
I never hated it. I was never outraged that Michael Myers wasn't in it. Like, I do believe in trying to judge a movie on its own terms and not just writing it off for something
right.
as arbitrary as that. But,
Thanks for the shade. Subtle shade.
well, it wasn't shade.
Not
That's just me. That's me talking about my own philosophy here,
Yeah,
Marianne. Calm down.
yes,
But, like, there's parts I like about it. I like Tom Atkins. I like
yes.
the scene. I like the scenes of, like, the kid dying in front of the television and
Yeah, that's a
worms
good
coming
Yeah,
out.
that's actually a great scene. It's very
that's
hard to
yeah.
watch, yeah.
I've watched it a few times. It's still not one of my favorites. Like, I think it's okay.
Where is it in your ranking?
So it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay. Yeah,
So
alright.
it's not like right at the bottom or anything. It's just it's a movie. as
I'll
you
take
might
it.
say.
Whoa, whoa, let's not put this on the same level as a Rob Zombie movie. We're gonna fight.
I appreciate the attempt, but
No,
it
no, I get it.
wasn't quite for me.
It's 4 stars for me. It's not at the top. I don't know where it is in my ranking, but my top 3 are the original Halloween Kills and Part 4. So
There's
it's
still some
definitely below there.
there's still some people that are committed to hating it because, as we say, Michael Myers isn't in it. I posted like my Halloween ranking recently, and I had hate comments about Halloween 3, and it's not even high up on my ranking.
My feelings about that, the hate for Halloween 3 and Friday 5 is you have all these other you want Jason, you want Michael, fine. You have all these other movies to choose
Exactly.
from. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love slashers. I would want like a million more of each and I would gobble them all up. But
Absolutely.
you've got plenty of stories that revolve around these characters. Don't watch the one installment that doesn't have them just to bitch, piss, and moan about it. Like,
Yeah, and, I think, another thing, and this is just me thinking out loud, but I kinda wonder too if another reason that people stopped holding the lack of Michael in it, which, by the way, he is in, just in a commercial, but,
which I love.
yeah,
Yes.
which separates the universes, but also too, around that time, well, around the late '80s, you started seeing a lot of movies going direct to video, and certain horror franchises like Silent Night, Deadly Night, for example,
Oh, don't get me started.
went direct to video, and those, like, I know for sure 4 and 5. 3 had, Bill Moseley, who was supposed to be the character from part 2, but he had some weird brain contraption thing on his head the whole movie. But part 4 and part 5 have nothing to do at all with the original Silent Night. They're a completely anthology.
Yeah,
In
there's
fact,
one with
I
like Mickey Rooney in, isn't
yeah,
there?
the 5th well,
Yep.
yeah, the 5th one with Mickey Rooney, I'd love to point out, is basically Halloween 3. He's this, inventor, he makes these toys that are gonna kill people on Christmas morning, it's like, "Okay," and there's even an android, it's like, "Okay, this is, yeah, I think I've seen this before."
I feel like there's a Halloween 3 in every franchise.
Well, there is, but I think as we kinda know, particularly like with Hellraiser and Children of the Corn, those became the dumping grounds for original screenplays that they had purchased that they never made, and so, "Oh, well, let's add Pinhead or,
Yeah,
Cornfield."
they just sort of
Yeah.
parachuted them in.
Right.
Amityville
So
too.
yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Uh,
There's like
but I
20
thi
of those.
I think that might have also had a little play that some sequels just kinda went off in their own direction and completely got
Yeah.
away from their originals as well.
But I will recommend Amityville Karen. It's really fucking funny. It's
Not
stupid.
Amityville Toilet?
No. Oh, please don't
That's
do
more
that.
on
No.
brand for
Oh,
her, isn't
no.
it?
Stop it. No. I don't
She
wanna
does
do
love a good
this.
toilet
I
movie.
don't wanna have no. I don't wanna have the toilet conversation. I do not love a toilet movie. I watched one franchise on Tubi once, and you
Death
have
Toilet
never
Queen 514.
my god, I
Oh,
hate
yes, Death Toilet, yes.
no.
Make a poster,
Amityville
Shawn.
Karen is dog shit, but it's hilarious, and I love it.
I don't think I've watched that one.
It's
I've
like
watched
one
a
of the
couple of
dumbest things you'll
Karen-themed
ever
horror movies,
watch.
but
It's one of the dumbest things you'll ever watch,
Along
but,
with
like,
Sharks of the Corn.
she
oh,
never finished that one.
no, I had to turn that off, the puppet sharks.
Wait, Amityville Karen's directed by Shawn C. Phillips. I used to watch his YouTube videos, his
I can't
DVD
with the shark.
collections.
You know what? You know how you know you've got a bad movie because, like, Sharks of the Corn, they come out the gate with boobs. Like, there's boobs really early in the movie. When you give me nudity and that can't save your movie, yikes.
It's a low bar.
If I'm like, I'm pretty sure the moment I turned off my TV, there were boobs on the screen. I have never done
That's
that.
how bad it was.
It was god awful. Again, like, okay, I say 17 minutes. I think 17 minutes is my go-to because that's when I fell asleep watching Skinamarink. 17 minutes is my threshold for when I'm watching something I don't like. But
We
no,
should
I
do a
turned
crossover, Skinnamarink of the Corn.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Sharks of the Corn was directed by Tim Ritter until I started watching
oh
it.
my god.
'Cause I know Tim Ritter. He did The Truth Through Dare, the original slasher movie back in the '80s. So, yeah, that's why I've never publicly commented about
Mm,
but I didn't wanna upset him, but I'm sure he's heard it all already at this point.
I'm sure.
But, yeah, no, Halloween 3 to me is I mean, I give it 5 stars, but I get that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, it's I think I love it because it's just so out there, and it's
Well, love
so
it or hate
completely
it,
different.
everybody has to agree that it is a quintessential Halloween movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as you said, it's about the holiday. It
And there's a
doesn't
yeah.
just happen to happen on the holiday.
Well, I'm also And I will note, I'm also a huge fan of the third one was good too, but the Invasion of the Body Snatchers films,
Filmed in
1956
the
to
same
78.
place.
Yeah, the Santa Mira being named after the town
Yes.
of the original. You can really see the influence
Yeah.
on Halloween 3. I have a fan theory, and I've never said this publicly.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Body count
I,
continues
and I'm not
exclusive.
saying that this
Yep.
is I'm not saying that this is what is really going on. I don't even really believe that that's what was in fact, I know that's probably not at all what was intended. But I always had issue with Ellie being the android at the end, because clearly that's a reference to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yep.
But my question was, or, I wondered if maybe she was an android the whole time, and maybe she never really was his daughter, and luring Tom Atkins because they needed somebody to see Cochrane's destruction, so to speak.
Like, she was the reason he went to Santa
Right.
Mira, into the
Yeah,
factory.
yeah, I mean, why I mean, you picked this alcoholic deadbeat dad, and I think that's the beauty of that movie. I mean, this guy's
No,
your
he's not a dad
protagonist.
anymore.
No, no, this is your protagonist, "I need a drink,"
I love
but
it.
yeah. So maybe it was all part of Cochrane's master scheme to lure him out there to have a witness, so
So that's valid. I guess the only thing that goes against it is Stacey Nelkin's acting. You do see the shift from the first 2 acts to the 3rd act when he rescues her and she's got this blank, emotionless stare. But I I I think that's really interesting, and, maybe, like, it would have been more interesting if she had played the character a little bit more stoic from the start so that
Yeah.
it would
yeah,
it would
yeah,
be more of, like, a lingering question. I like
yeah.
that theory,
I don't know that it completely holds water, but, um,
but it's fun
yeah.
to think about.
Yeah, sure, why not? But, yeah, no, it's always been a fun film for me. I've always loved it. I've always been a big fan of Tom Atkins, and of
Night of the
course,
Creeps.
Night of the Creeps. Actually, yeah, this is my favorite movie with him, but Night of the Creeps is my favorite role of his. Absolutely,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, he's so good in that.
He's even good in the My
My
Bloody
Bloody
Valentine
Valentine.
remake. I really
yeah,
liked
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and he had a good death scene too.
He was originally supposed to be in, Halloween 3D when they were making that after the zombie one because, it was the same people that made My Bloody Valentine 3D, and
Oh,
I thought, "Oh, how cool is that? Coming back for a 3rd Halloween," but of course,
It fell
that never
through.
happened. Which I read the script, and I'm glad it didn't happen, but yeah, it still would have been nice to see Tom Atkins come back for another Halloween movie.
yeah, I agree. I'm actually gonna meet him next weekend. I'm so excited. I
Yeah,
cannot
he's
wait.
Nice.
super. Yeah, super guy. I've met him a couple times, and he always makes it about you. I think he likes to ask you questions and stuff. I will say I did notice in the last convention I was at, I don't know if, the first time I saw him, I think it was like 2017, and then I saw him a couple years ago. He I'm not gonna say he wasn't in bad health, but he just seemed a little aloof, I noticed. So, hopefully, maybe it might have just been everything going on. So, hopefully, that'll be the case for you, that he's
I mean, look, we it's
I
hard
mean,
work. People
he's
people don't
almost
understand.
90,
Like, I
so
think I think we were having this discussion earlier before we hit record, but we're talking about Carpenter
Mhm.
because he was doing conventions for a bit, and then yeah, he left one with a health issue, and he hasn't really been doing them since. It's a lot of work
Oh, yeah.
to. I mean, I know it looks like they're kind of just sitting there. They're not. First of all, they're signing God knows how many autographs.
Mhm.
And then for most people, they have to get up from their booth to take a picture. So they're like up and down all day. They have to deal with God knows how many people who don't respect boundaries,
Yeah.
people who are rude.
They've got to
Um,
converse all day.
they've got to convert.
It's a lot.
And
They
sell the
have,
same stories.
yeah, they have to
Answer the
make
same
small talk.
questions.
They have to smile. It's
It's taxing.
looks and feels like exhausting work.
Yeah.
And he's not a young guy. So like, yeah, it's fine if he wants to be aloof. I'm just gonna kind of try to not ask him if I can touch his mustache.
Just once. Just want to stroke it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and he still seems very lucid, he kinda reminds me of Shatner in that regard. I mean, what is
Yeah.
Shatner, 95, 96 now? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he's extraordinarily
He's
lucid, you
pushing
know?
100 now, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shatner has, like, tiger blood or something.
it's amazing,
I don't know how to
so
explain it, but no, I'm excited for that.
I think
Stacey
that'd be great.
Nelkin's gonna be there too.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I think you'll like her a lot.
I don't know, so I feel bad saying this. I don't know if I'm gonna meet her,
Mhm.
get an autograph from her. There's just so many, and
Oh, yeah, 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 I get it.
for my
You've got a budget.
budget, I
Yeah,
have to, like, and I'm like, I hate to say it, but of the 2, obviously, Atkins is my first choice.
right.
She's on my list, but, like, she might end up getting bumped.
She is very sweet. She actually talked to me for a great deal uh, of time. But I don't know if you did you either of you ever see the Woody Allen movie Manhattan in the late '70s? It was his
Long time
follow up to
ago.
Annie Hall that
Yeah.
he. It's about him having an affair with a high
Yeah.
school student. Mariel Hemingway plays.
The
Um,
irony.
Imagine that.
that that
Yeah.
yeah, long before the Sunni controversy, but the woman that Mariel Hemingway is based on is Stacey Nelkin.
Oh, I did not
He
know
had
that.
yeah, so, I mean, and she openly admits this, it's not like I'm dishing dirt, I mean, it's but, yeah, it's so that was pre-Halloween 3, obviously,
Well, yes, obviously.
and that also that same year, she was supposed to have been in Blade Runner, she was cast as an android, but they ended up not using her character, so
Talk about being typecast.
yeah,
Alright.
exactly.
Like, I think at a certain
Android
point you'd
again.
start, yeah, what are you trying to say?
You calling me a robotic actor?
When we were at the Halloween 3 panel, I brought it up just because I think it should go without it can't go without not being mentioned, but I Daniel Hillary is absolutely wonderful as Connell Cochran. He chews the scenery. He's, just a true pro as an actor I've always loved his take.
He
In
plays like
fact,
a Bond villain.
yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah, he has that Bond
Yeah.
villain speech
he
too to
yeah,
to to Tom
he took,
Atkins.
like, inspiration from a lot of Bond movies, I feel like, and I love
Yeah.
that. It's like, it's so out there. You have villains in movies and, they have evil plans, but no, this guy, he stole pieces from Stonehenge and
Yeah, yeah.
implanted them in some masks, and he's gonna melt the heads of everybody. Like, it's so James Bond
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
just insanely, "I'm gonna blow up the sun."
He just has a ridiculously evil plan.
It is,
Yeah,
but that's
it's
part of the
as crazy as
charm.
planned, and, I mean, imagine that, though, I mean, here's a movie about murdering millions of children, and horrifically too, this is the plot of your movie,
Just
but yeah, no,
despicable for the sake of it.
I always thought he was brilliant in it, and I always loved him as an actor, which is funny because 2 years afterwards, um, he was in the Starfighter playing the under latex makeup as this reptilian alien named Greg, which he co-starred with Lance Guest, who was in Halloween 2, and it was directed by Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in Halloween, so there was strong Halloween connection. Actually, I asked, Nick Castle that at a convention. I always wondered, I said, "Did you land on Lance Guest and Dan O'Harley because maybe they were recommended to you by" because he's very close friends with Carpenter,
Yeah.
obviously. And he looked at me, he goes, "Wow, I never thought about that." And all this time I figured that's how, I was sure that was probably some
That's why you
connection.
don't ask those questions, because 'cause you're not always gonna get the answer that you want.
Yeah,
You're ruining your
so
own fan theory.
yeah, but Hurley was great. He's always a fun character actor.
When I met Nick Castle, I was a little bit like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit starstruck, and I can't even remember what I said. I feel like I had a blackout moment when I was talking to him. I do remember,
Not
however,
when he was choking you.
I was gonna say I do, however, remember asking him to choke me.
Really?
Yes.
Did he do
Well,
it?
He's
because
not Kane
I got
Hodder.
I got an autograph. Well, no, but Michael chokes people.
Yeah, no, I mean, but did he actually do it?
Yeah, he did it.
He did, yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
pictures got awful, so it's never gonna see the light of day.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't recall saying that, but yeah.
Was this when you were sick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, say I wanna say not last year, the year before. I think 2 years ago when I went to this convention, same one I'm going to next weekend.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, I got very, very sick when
Mhm,
I got down there, and, I ended up, they gave me some medication that, like, all the pictures are just awful. I look lethargic. Like,
mhm.
I had fun,
Right.
but when I went back and looked at all the pictures, I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, never."
At least you have them for you, though, I mean,
Yeah,
to look
but
back on this.
I
Yeah,
will go
I've
on
seen a
record and
couple of
say
them.
that Nick Castle has choked me. Hell
See, I know
yeah.
that's Kane Hodder's thing, like, he'll choke everybody. See, I forgot
That's
about that
next on my list.
Yeah, that's the
when I
bucket
went to take
list.
my picture with him, and he suddenly grabbed my neck, and I totally forgot he was gonna do this, and my teeth clacked so loud. I think you've seen the picture, I think I posted it
Yeah,
before, but,
you've
Yeah.
shown me.
uh but when he grabbed me, my teeth clacked so loud that my friend who was, like, I don't know, 15 feet away taking the picture said he could hear
Oh my
it.
You
god.
got jump
So,
scared
yeah,
by Kane Hodder?
and I'm literally being lifted off the ground. Somebody said, "Well, look how much taller you are than Kane Hodder." I was like, "No, he had me up in the air a little bit,"
Oh my
uh,
god.
but yeah.
I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, I know what
See,
Marianne's thinking right now, hearing you
yeah,
say
no,
that. Me
that's the
next.
oh my god, you don't understand.
Is he
Lift
gonna
me
be
in
at the
here,
convention
please.
you're going to?
Unfortunately not. I was supposed to meet him last summer. He was supposed to come to Montreal Comic Con, but he canceled. So I've set a goal for myself now where if he doesn't in 2026, if he doesn't come to any of the conventions that I go to
Mhm.
in 2027, I will go to him. So I'm hoping maybe in 2027 I can catch him like in New York or Pennsylvania, New Jersey, like all the states closest to me. That way at least I could drive. But I'm determined. I have to meet him.
It's a long way to go to get choked if, you have to, fly all over
Yes.
across the country, but
But it's
Okay,
Kane
but
Hodder.
no, but here's what. At last year's convention, Tony Todd was supposed to be there
yeah,
and he backed out for health reasons. And I think he passed away only a few weeks later.
the same thing happened with Sid Haig here in Charlotte. He died the day before he'd already canceled, but he passed away, like, I think the day before
Yeah.
the convention was supposed to start.
So I'm just so bummed that I didn't get to meet him. So now I just kind of have more of a resolve to get some of like I want to say like the ones that are high on my bucket list, and Kane Hodder's at the top. John
Sure.
Carpenter's up there too. I would travel to meet Carpenter.
Yeah,
Um and I think that's really it. Like the good thing about all the people that I like, they're such frequent convention guests.
right,
So you get the chance to like meet the same ones over. I think you made a comment about that about, how some conventions recycle their guests.
right,
I don't mind that.
yeah.
The one that I go to, they go out of their way not to do that, which is also good. But like I will never get tired, let's say, of meeting anybody from the Friday the 13th franchise. So they could be there every fucking year and I'll pay for a new autograph every fucking year. Like I just want to be talking to you. But yeah, no, Kane Hodder. Oh my God. If he chokes me, I'm going to get arrested.
And lifts you and lifts you off the ground as well while doing it. Imagine.
I think I'm a bit taller than him. I don't know if he'd be able to lift me off the
You should
ground.
You
probably
could
bring a
try.
bouncer, not
For
for you,
him,
but for him.
I should.
Just lift your legs up while he does it.
That's so courteous. Lift my leg. Are you insane?
Let him hold you in the air.
Do the splits.
My
Yeah,
God.
you'll love it. Yeah, do the splits and then he can choke you from that position. Great idea, Shawn.
First of all, I mean, thank you for even
Believing
the
in you.
idea that I could do the splits, but I cannot. I could never do them.
Fine, just go
Ugh,
on.
I can't wait for the day. You're so lucky that you've been choked by Kane Hodder.
Even though it was unexpected?
You've been touched by God. You know
In
what?
many
If
ways,
he
that's better.
Yeah, it may yeah, it is better. I'll leave it at that. Unexpectedly choke me, please, Kane Hodder. It's less special if I have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want
that's true.
spontaneity,
That's
don't
why I
you?
was surprised Castle did that, because I didn't think that was something like I said, I know that's Kane's thing, but I didn't know he would do that, but
I'm gonna give him the come
that's good he
choke me
did.
eyes.
Yeah.
Come choke me out.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Come choke me eyes. Let's go.
Should we move on to Marianne's pick?
I wonder yes, but first I have to wonder if Tom Atkins would choke me, maybe.
Yeah, I doubt that.
It's
No, he's more reserved.
I could make that my thing at every convention I go to, just getting a choking picture with
I don't want an
everybody.
autograph. I want to
That's
choke.
one thing I
Well,
picked
you
up
get
from
both.
One thing I picked up from Atkins is if you ever see pictures of him at conventions, and I have a couple pictures where he did the same thing, he always, like, does this kind of two-fingered motion, like he's pointing you out versus making it about him. And so, like, I see myself doing that, and when I'm taking pictures with somebody, it's like kind of like he's presenting you rather than it being about him.
Oh, that's cute.
Atkins mode.
I love
Well,
that. I'm super hyped.
yeah, I think you'll have a good time.
But yes, I guess it's time for my very basic choice because my favorite Halloween movie is Halloween. I
Oh,
feel like that's so anticlimactic, but I
No,
mean,
it's
it's like
appropriate.
I
It's
feel
the
like it's
classic.
the only thing, and this, I guess, like it's subjective, of course, but for me, it's the only thing to watch on Halloween. Even I love House of a Thousand Corpses, but if you want to get technical, it's one that you watch on the 30th of October.
Okay,
mhm. Along with the crow,
out my section then.
No, I'm not gonna cut out your
Devil's Night.
section. I'm just saying it takes place on All Hallows Eve, so I feel like, yeah, my choice is the basic choice. It's like I'm a basic bitch, but
It's the most popular one for sure.
I have to agree that with what Shawn said, that it could take place on any holiday, and, like, the holiday doesn't really it's not really an integral part of the story apart from the part where Laurie makes a point of saying that her and Tommy are gonna carve a pumpkin, which my one of my favorite stories from production is that they had so much fucking trouble finding a pumpkin because they were out of season in
Mhm.
California, and I think for the entire production, they had only managed to find 2. The scene,
And they had to smash one.
they had to smash 1,
They had
and
to paint what was it? I'm not good with vegetables 'cause I
a
don't eat them
squash.
as much. Was it squash that they painted orange for some scenes?
I believe so, but the 2 main ones, like the one that Tommy drops
Mhm.
and the one that Laurie brings to Tommy are both pumpkins,
Poorly carved, yeah.
and the only 2 pumpkins that production could get their hands on. So I think that's so funny, but, like, the fall vibes are just immaculate,
Even though it was in May.
right? So
But they do met yeah.
but May is spring, so, like, it works because the trees weren't, like, fully green,
Right.
and production just, like, threw some leaves around for a lot of the scenes.
That Robert Englund claims he helped rake up and put in a bag and
Yes,
yeah.
I heard that story, but it's just got these great fall vibes, and but I have to again, I have to admit you're right. It could take place on any holiday, but
But it doesn't.
it's I don't know, like, you ever have, like, movies that you love so much and it's hard to put into words why? It's just like a perfect movie. I don't really have it's like no notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
is, I agree. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 slasher movie.
absolutely. When you're talking about when it could be set, the story that Irwin Yablans has always put out there is about, the babysitter murders, and then they saw that amazingly the title Halloween had never been registered, and so they went with that and set it on Halloween night. I don't know if you guys have heard this story before. I think I've mentioned it before on social media, but Bob Clark, who directed Black Christmas, was conceiving of a sequel to it, and it was going to be set on Halloween night, and the killer from Black Christmas was going to escape from an asylum and return to his hometown on Halloween night. And the story was that he brought Carpenter in uh, because he didn't, he was at that point ready to move out of horror because he had done quite a number of horror movies. And he was ready to kind of branch out and start doing comedies and so forth, which he did. But he talked to this or told Carpenter this idea, and I guess they traded ideas. I'm not exactly sure. But later on, of course, Carpenter would obviously go on to do Halloween, which seems very similar. But even Bob Clark himself said that the story he was conceiving and the story that Carpenter ultimately told, he said it was in no way theft. They're actually very different, even though on the surface they sound identical. But I do wonder if maybe I believe it was Carpenter that came up with the idea of setting it on Halloween, although somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong. But, him and Deborah Hill wrote the screenplay, and I kinda wonder if, when that whole thing fell apart with the Black Christmas sequel, if maybe some ideas were imported over from it.
It's
But
possible. I
yeah,
mean,
but I always wondered if the whole thing with the babysitter murders, if part of that was,
well,
let's
that's it.
let's avoid a lawsuit.
It wasn't called Halloween at the beginning, and ultimately, slashers are formulaic. So,
Well,
I
very much
mean,
is influenced by Black Christmas, that can't be denied.
any slasher that takes place on Halloween is gonna draw comparisons
Yeah.
to Carpenter's movie. I mean, I don't care. Make a different movie, set it on Halloween, call it whatever you want, call it The Babysitter Murders. It could have the exact same story with a killer with a different mask, killing babysitters on Halloween, and I'll still be sad.
Yeah, especially during this era, like late 70s,
Mhm.
80s.
Yep.
We'll watch any slasher from that era, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know,
and you name drop Deborah Hill. I have to say, I think she is severely underappreciated
Yeah, she's
for her
unsung.
contributions to this
oh,
franchise.
I would
Like,
agree. Yeah, I would definitely
Carpenter
agree.
is a genius. I'm not taking away from that at all, but Deborah Hill does not get nearly as much love as she deserves because she conceived of a lot of the things that people like associate with Halloween, and she
Yeah.
she had a big hand in Season of the Witch too.
Yeah, she did.
Um, and yeah, sadly, she doesn't really. I don't know. People don't give her flowers. I get it. Carpenter's the face of the franchise, like creatively, but I
No,
think
no, I absolutely agree. Yeah, she definitely had a huge role in it, and she did go on to become, for her time, she was one of, if not the most successful woman producer in Hollywood. So, I mean,
good for her.
she did go on to a big career in the studio system afterwards, uh, but yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and I think Halloween sort of embodies that very appealing indie filmmaking where it's just a group of people working together, young people working together, trying to make a movie together. Wasn't really about egos or anything. Everybody was chipping in to do their part and because they believed
Yep.
in it. And and there were so many people on that production that obviously went on. Dean Cundy's cinematography, who went on
Yep.
to another enormously successful career. He did Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, etc. So, I mean, yeah, I think there's just that aspect of Halloween to me has such great appeal. I often say that Jaws was the movie that made me love movies, but Halloween was the movie that made me love filmmaking,
Oh,
because
that's
you could
I get
see
it.
how
yeah.
much. Again, the plot of Halloween is basically simple, but it's the execution,
Yeah.
and what they put into it, and how they manipulate the audience that really appealed to me about.
Well, that's it. It's formulaic and it's simple, but choices were
But it
made.
works.
Mhm.
Yeah, and creative choices were made that I mean, just look at the longevity, like what the franchise has turned into and the countless fans that are still gonna be sat for every installment, like,
Yeah.
even after Halloween ends. A lot of people out there that are pissed off about Halloween ends. Well, guess what? All of you motherfuckers are gonna be in the theater opening day for the next Myers movie. So,
If it doesn't go straight to the streaming.
Well, let's hope
But
let's
but
hope that doesn't happen.
yeah, I really hope they don't make a series out of it. I think that'd be a mistake, but
Netflix, oh my god, I have PTSD from what they did with
Chainsaw?
yeah, Chainsaw, and did they do Leatherface too?
No.
No, I don't
No.
think
No.
so.
That was the same, I believe that was a lot of the same people that did the Chainsaw 3D, because it's set in that same universe.
I like Chainsaw 3D, like, it's so controversial. I love that movie.
I
It's
enjoy it.
the opening, that's one thing we don't talk about enough is the opening. Toby Hooper, Gunnar Hansen, Bill Moseley is the cook. Just such a great opening, and then finding a way to incorporate Marilyn Burns.
Mhm.
I love that. Like, that to me felt more like an homage, not necessarily to the original movies, but to the original movies' characters and the people
Yeah.
who created it and worked on it versus what Netflix did, where they brought Sally back. Marilyn Burns had
Unnecessarily.
already passed away, so
Yeah.
it was a recast, which first mistake, like, she's dead, just leave her be. Could you
Yeah.
imagine them recasting Sydney Prescott, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years into the future when Neve
Yeah.
Campbell is no longer around, knock on wood?
Yeah, no, I agree, and
It's
I didn't
It's
think
not
they
insane.
something
needed
that's
that.
done.
I didn't even think they needed to make really. I mean, to be honest, I think as a Texas Chainsaw sequel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an awful chainsaw movie, but
I don't like it either.
I think it's a fun slasher movie in the sense that, I mean, I don't think it needed to be connected, and I thought that parts of me that didn't work for me was bringing back Sally Hardesty
Yeah.
just so they could have that connection. I just thought, "Yeah, you
And
could have
also
done
the fact
completely
that they
without
killed her. I didn't
Right.
like that they brought her back to
Exactly.
kill her. You know what? There's one scene in the movie that I like. There's only one, and it's the scene on the bus when they're all trying to cancel
Yeah.
Leatherface with their phones
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That was not only a gory scene, but it made me laugh for what
Yeah.
it was. But then the rest felt like Netflix, and
Yeah.
I mean that in a very derogatory way. It just felt like a Netflix production.
Was
And
it ever I was it slated for theaters at one point? I don't know the behind the scenes. I thought maybe it was, and then COVID and et cetera, and they just finally released
it came out during
so
COVID, didn't it?
came out 22, I think, right at
So
the
it would have been after,
Well,
or at the
theaters were
tail end at
open, but
least.
I guess maybe they weren't making as much money.
Yeah,
Like, people are fully back in theaters now. When I go to the movies, the theaters are packed, but I think it took a while for people to wanna go back. And where I am, the theater's open, but they kept half the seats blocked off, so everybody had to sit
yeah,
with,
I
like, a
remember
gap
that.
between them.
Yeah.
So that would affect, a studio's choice. They have a bottom line. It's all about profit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But honestly, even if COVID wasn't a thing, I think that movie would have bombed at the box office. I know, like, it has its
It probably would have, yeah.
defenders. I know there's people that like it. I don't like Leatherface's look.
No, I agree with that.
I don't like the final girl and her annoying sister. I find them both annoying. Another funny scene, I guess, at the end is the, like, surprise decapitation
Oh,
after she puts her car into autopilot. That makes me laugh.
Just slowly drives away while he's
and then
Yes,
waving his sister's head.
screaming. Like,
and
that's funny.
the upshot of it all was that Leatherface was against gentrification. That's really the I
That's
would love
so
to have been in
stupid.
I love to have been in the, pitch session for that.
My god.
Basically, he hates gentrification. This is gold.
That's just the I don't I'm sorry. It's not for me.
But Halloween is.
How yes, I don't
That's a
even
great way to bring everything back.
thank you for that. I appreciate that. I don't even know how we got here, but yes, Halloween is it's the best movie.
Would you say it's the best slasher movie, even as a Friday the 13th fangirl?
I can give you
It's
an out on that if you'd like.
no, it's fine. My personal favorite slasher movie is Jason Lives,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but but listen, both are 5
I'm
stars.
listening.
Halloween is 5 stars. It's a perfect movie, just like Jason Lives for me, but Halloween is the better movie. It's legendary. The
Yeah.
score, the vibe of the whole thing, and Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love in that movie. I love her to death. That's why I've been sat for every garbage Halloween movie, even Resurrection, where she has an incestuous kiss with her brother before
Yeah,
dying.
In the first
yeah,
10 minutes.
That's how much I love the character. It's a perfect movie. It's 5 stars. Yes, best slasher ever made. For me personally, I know, like, for a lot of people, it's Texas Chainsaw, but
Yeah, for me, it's between those two.
let's see. That's a segue into what I was gonna say is and I'm not by any means saying that this is definitive, but I used to do a podcast about 80s slasher movies, and then there became a whole thing about defining what was a slasher film, et cetera,
oh
and then
god.
learning about proto slashers and so forth. And to be honest, and my own personal take is that and in no way are either of you wrong for citing them as slasher films, but my own personal take is that Chainsaw and Halloween even are proto slashers, but the slasher genre I feel was born out of Halloween because of the success of it
For
and because
sure.
of that formula. But I feel my personal take, and I think Marianne, you and I talked about this once, but my personal take is that the original Friday the 13th is the very first full on slasher movie because it adds the element of the graphic kills, which the kills have obviously become a big thing in the slasher film. Whereas in Halloween, a lot of the kills are off camera and it's not a gory film at all.
It's relatively bloodless.
As a testament to Halloween is, it's built so much more on the suspense. But, again, that's just my own personal take.
Well, I think it's something that we've kind of discussed before on the podcast as well. We
Yeah.
sort of see Friday the 13th as being so influential.
I
Yeah.
know I know Joe Bob cited, Torso as, like, he considers that the first,
That's a great
slasher
movie
movie.
too.
Yeah, which is a great but I don't necessarily agree with that, but that doesn't, again, what do I know? But that's just my own personal take. I kind of feel the slasher genre owes its existence to Halloween and everything that came but I think Friday the 13th showed, "Hey, you can still make money with this formula," and then adding, a bit to it with the kills and the Savini makeup and everything.
Yeah.
Listen, as I was 9, 10 years old when Friday the 13th came out, and I can tell you everybody on recess out on the playground was talking about those kill scenes.
Um,
I mean, that was a
Nice.
big factor in the success of those movies.
I wish I was there for that.
So, you know, and then the funny thing is people kind of read retroactively that Halloween was the same way, but it wasn't, obviously. No, whereas Halloween 2 was. Now they had competition, and had to step up their game to try to compete. But yeah, so I mean that's my own take. But I'll say about Halloween, I think, Psycho is kind of I feel the movie that took horror out of gothic castles and brought it into modern day.
Sure.
Whereas I feel Halloween, and I feel one of the reasons for its success, because even like both something like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre are about people going out to where the horror is. Whereas in Halloween, it brings the horror home to your neighborhood, to the suburbs. And not to mention another reason I think for the massive success of slasher films in the 80s was the serial killer. That was the 70s, 80s were the decades of serial killers, your Gacy's, your Ted Bundy's. I mean, they were all over
Sure.
the news. People were stranger danger. And so I
Yeah.
think that was foremost on people's minds back then. And
Yeah,
so
and
Halloween, here's
slashers
a movie
tapped
that,
into it, really.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the way Cundy moves the camera, the fact that they used, a Steadicam, which was a relatively new technique. In fact, I think that was the very first Panavision Steadicam movie that they used as Panavision Steady, cam for, and, of course, we all know the famous opening scene, but there's a lot of scenes in Halloween where the camera's free floating, and so you won't it kinda gives you this sense that Michael could be anywhere at any point, and the way they crafted all that was just so absolutely clever, and it shows so much thought was put into it, whereas and I always think back to Roger Ebert's review, which in a lot of ways was one of the big reasons for Halloween's success, because it had already played, as I recall. It had already kinda done a quick run in the theaters and didn't really make got mid reviews, didn't really make much of an impact, but then Roger Ebert put out a four-star review for it, and The Village Voice, I think, also did a
That's
glow up for it too.
surprising because
Yeah,
they
broken
always
clock
hated
again.
horror movies.
Yeah, and
Twice a day.
Yep.
and suddenly people were coming back and wanting to see this, and then all of a sudden, people were embracing it and loving it, and it became, at the time, the most successful indie film of all time.
But
But
that's how most of these movies grow is word of mouth.
Especially then, yeah.
just because it's a low budget movie doesn't mean it has to look like a low budget movie, and that's in part why Halloween still stands out because of that. You could look at a lot of movies from that era, low budget movies and
I
shot
find
on
all
less tech
the
cameras.
I find all the original movies in the franchises, like, it applies to all of them, though. They're all so creatively done.
It
Um, best slasher of all time. Top 5 favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah, me too. 10 out of 10 slasher.
It's just a perfect fucking movie. There's nothing
Perfect Halloween movie, of
a
course.
perfect Halloween movie. There's nothing that they could add. There's nothing that needs to be removed. There's no scenes that feel superfluous, and the characters. I love Laurie, I love Annie, and I love Linda to death, like, totally,
and
totally,
Bob,
and Bob. Bob is an
The Minuteman
icon.
Bob.
which
Minuteman
is weird
Bob.
to think that Dennis Quaid tried out for that role because he was dating PJ Souls at the time.
Oh my god,
Could you
I
imagine him in
would've
this movie? That would have been
I
great.
don't know, he
I
might have
wish
been
he'd gotten
cast,
it.
but he couldn't do it, yeah. So we got the Bob that
What could have been?
but I love Bob,
yeah,
and, of course, the iconic Dr. Loomis. I love Donald
yes.
Pleasance. His monologue about Michael is, I wanna say, probably it has to be the most iconic monologue in the
Yeah,
genre.
everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it, and he delivers it so beautifully, like, he just looks completely, like, consumed and haunted by Michael Myers, and, obviously, like, we see that obsession translate into future films. He goes a little bit cuckoo.
Overboard.
In
A
4
little a
especially.
little bit overboard, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good word.
especially in 5.
I I
But
do feel like part 4 was peak
Yeah,
Loomis for me.
yeah,
That's
I agree.
my only issue was Laurie's dead in that movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Off-screen death, you love
I don't
those.
like the Thorn trilogy for that. I don't like 5 and 6. I love
Yeah,
4,
to me, it ends at 4.
but
Yeah,
I
I get
To
it.
me,
just
it's like the
wish
evil
they
has
didn't
come
kill
full
Laurie.
circle, you know? It ends where the first movie began.
I know why she didn't come back, like, her career at the time
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
She didn't
red
need it.
hot.
She was doing Fish Called
Well,
Wanda, I
you
think,
know
yeah.
what? She still doesn't need it. I have to give her, like, this is one thing I love about Jamie Lee Curtis. You have so many actors, A-list actors today that got their start in horror, and a lot of them don't even fucking acknowledge it. Almost like the genre is, like, somehow a step down from what they're doing now. And I love that over the years, even though she's come back in some very questionable installments in this franchise, like, I wanna know why she agreed to Resurrection. I think that's, like, I that keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
But I love that she respects the genre, she respects the fans, because even, H2O, her career was still like, I don't think she's ever really had a dip in her career. She's always been booked and busy, so coming back for H2O and then Resurrection, again, I don't know why she came back for that, and then the DDG trilogy. It shows how much she loves and cares about the franchise, and I love that.
Well, she was still appreciative of the horror genre.
She shows the respect that so many others kind of don't, and yeah,
She
that's one of
even
my favorite things about it. She acknowledges it, and she
I thought
acknowledges the fans.
I thought it was, really special that she during her Oscar acceptance, that she dedicated it to horror fans, saying,
Yep.
"We made it," or something to that yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was
But too many people were busy crying about how she shouldn't have won,
yeah,
Yeah.
so
She
well,
didn't deserve it or whatever.
I
I
personally disagree. I think she did deserve it, but
I haven't watched the movie, so I don't know, but
I
it's Jamie
did.
Lee Curtis, so I'm not mad.
I did, but I didn't watch the other movies, the others that were nominated. Look, I like Jamie Lee Curtis a lot,
Yeah.
and she's in a lot of my favorite movies, like True Lies, Trading Places.
mhm, Fish
I
Called
love A
Wanda.
Fish Called Wanda. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's so funny.
I
And I don't know, I feel like people are so triggered by her. It's so weird to me. Laurie's iconic.
oh,
True.
yeah, that I would agree. If I may, I did wanna say 2 quick things about Donald Pleasance, in that I think, I'm pretty sure we all know that both Christopher Lee and, um, Peter Cushing were approached for the role of Loomis, and both turned it down. In fact, I believe Christopher Lee had later stated that it was the biggest regret of his career that he turned it down. But I think Pleasance was just perfect for the role because I think with Christopher Lee, I think he would have been a little too imposing.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then I think Peter Cushing might have felt a little more feeble, whereas at that age, whereas I think Donald Pleasance is just he balances it perfectly.
I agree, and I think Peter Cushing maybe in his heyday could have been a good
Yeah.
cast for it, but
Well, you know,
at that time, no, and Christopher Lee, as you say, he's this big, tall, looming figure in everything that he ever did. It wouldn't
well,
work as Loomis.
I do think he, it's interesting to me is that, people talk about Black Christmas and Psycho but I do think that, the horror Dracula, the Hammer film, actually played a significant inspiration to Halloween. I mean, obviously, Loomis is the sort of Van Helsing to Michael's Dracula and whatnot, but
Of
there's
course.
even a
Hmm.
scene if you go back and watch it, there's even a scene where, they go to this mortuary trying to track down a coffin, and I swear to you, the dialogue and everything, you have this kinda bumbling mortician who's going through all the coffins, and it's straight out of or the scene with Loomis at the gravesite. The
I gotta
dialogue and
check that
everything is
out.
very so to me,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where that must have come from, but another thing I was gonna say too that, I always point this out in relation to Halloween too, but I also think it shows Carpenter's willingness, to work with actors and whatnot, and to kinda experiment. When they shot this scene, and Carpenter tells us in many interviews, and you probably heard it before, but how when it came to the looking out of the window after he shoots Michael and he falls through, that Pleasance presented him 2 options. He says, "Do you want me to go up to the window and look shocked, or do you want me to go up to the window and, I knew it, like, I knew this was gonna happen kinda thing," and the carpenter hadn't thought about that, and so he said, "Well, let's shoot both," and of course, we know which one he kept. But that's one of the things that was always jarring to me, besides the fact that there's 7 shots coming out of a 6-shooter in the beginning of Halloween 2, is that when Loomis runs down the stairs at the beginning of Hall in the new footage that starts Halloween 2, and he comes running out the door, like, his eyes are widening, and he's in total shock and disbelief, and I'm like, "Well, this is different from, this doesn't actually line up very well with what the original movie did,"
No.
but I do think he was such an important part of that puzzle that made that film work as well, having a named actor like him in there, you know?
Lend
Uh,
some credibility.
yeah, and that was a big thing back in the indie horror,
Yeah.
like, actors like John Carradine and, I mean, countless veteran actors who would, just to add a name, but Pleasance really brought his A game.
We watched a movie
Absolutely.
recently, and I can't remember what it was. Who was the actor? I can't even remember the actor, but,
What was the
um,
movie?
I don't remember.
What was it about?
I don't remember, but wait, listen.
Was it a horror movie?
Yes, I think
20
yes.
questions time.
No, but it doesn't need to be 20 questions. Listen, you said to me that somebody in the movie had been tricked into taking the role.
Yes, I remember now. What was the
What
movie?
this is gonna drive me nuts.
Let's think for a second here.
Was it on the drive-in?
Yes, it was the drive-in.
His
It
whole
was just
scene was filmed inside the back of a car, like a limo. This is gonna drive me insane.
one sec, I'm scrolling, I'll find it.
Was this a recent episode of Last Drive-In?
It was
I
the
think it's the
last
most the
episode.
most
Oh,
recent
I
one.
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you're helpful.
I can't remember what the movie was.
I know he did Nightmare and Freddy was Jason, but I didn't see
That was AMC. I don't watch that because I can't
they edit
stand
it.
how edited it
Yeah.
is. I'll have it in my recent activity. Oh,
Mute
Mute
Witness.
Witness,
That's
Oh,
what it was.
okay.
and I don't remember the actor, but apparently there was somebody in that movie who was tricked into taking the role.
It was Alec Guinness. He was
Alec
tricked to play
Guinness.
the main villain called the Reaper, who was in the movie for a
He
grand
thought
total of,
yeah,
like, a minute.
he thought he was making a student film and was quite angry when he realized that it was a theatrical release.
Yeah.
That's like, how the fuck does that happen?
I was watching,
Gotta respect the
Jacko,
hustles.
the straight to video Pumpkin, the real Pumpkinhead movie, and I knew that came out in the mid-90s because I was working in a video store at the time, and, I hadn't seen it since, and so I'm watching it, and John Carradine pops in to the movie, and I'm like, "John Carradine? He
Was he
died in
still
the
around then?
He died in the late '80s, I thought, and I looked it up, and he died in '88.
Oh
So,
my
I had to
god.
research that, and apparently he shot footage for another movie that they
Oh,
just held on to, and they just, found a way to graft it into that kind of very
this is like
much like Bela Lugosi in,
this is like cinematic
Plan
grave
9.
robbing.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
god.
Plan 9 from Outer
That's
Space, so
awful.
He was in a movie and he never knew about it.
see, I think I would make a movie about an angry actor ghost, like John Carradine coming back and finding out that he was cast in this horrible movie called Jacko,
Yeah, or maybe you were used in a
haunting
McDonald's
the
commercial or
filmmaker.
something. Hey,
Oh,
you should make a poster.
deep. Not sure what else there is to say about Halloween other than
10 out of 10.
watch 10 out of 10, watch it on Halloween.
Masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Masterpiece.
You summed it up perfectly.
Better than the Rob Zombie version
I'll
by,
allow it.
by
I agree with that.
miles.
And there are gonna be people that aren't gonna listen to anything I have to say after
Superior
hearing
Laurie
me
Strode.
say Halloween 3 was also a 5 out of 5, but
No, 4 out of 5 for me, which high compliment. Like, I do love it so much. It's a great Halloween movie, as is House of a Thousand Corpses, a
Thank you.
Halloween Eve movie, but
Okay.
it has the Halloween vibes.
So
So
close,
no,
but
it
so
has
far.
it has the vibes for sure. We like to get fucked up and do fucked up shit.
No, that's
It's
right.
it's iconic, and yeah, I like that one too. They're all bangers. You can't go wrong with any Halloween movie, unless, like, if you're rewatching Halloween 6 on Halloween, you need to reevaluate your life choices.
Jacko,
Like,
You keep
that's
plugging
that's
Jacko.
Jacko's set on Halloween.
Jacko.
Do you
All
have an
right.
executive producer credit on Jack?
Uncredited.
Watch
Is that the
Jacko
one where the
also,
meme
folks.
comes from, where it's like death to all teenagers who fuck? Or is that a different one?
Oh
No,
my God.
Jacko doesn't say shit.
Maybe I'm thinking of like Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, he is a walking, talking jack-o'-lantern. Oh,
Oh
I'm
my
Yes,
sorry,
he
God.
does.
walking jack-o'-lantern. He doesn't talk, but yeah.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not watched that in a long time. I don't think
That
I
was
liked it, but
no, it's okay to let that one recede into your, yeah, memory banks.
it's not
I,
Halloween.
we
No.
were talking about posters that I made that, like, people just don't, aren't picking up on, or not having, but I know I did one of, Jacko, the pumpkin man.
Jacko the pumpkin. Like, let's play a drinking game and
How many times I
rewind
bring up Jack?
rewind this episode like 10 minutes and take a shot every single time someone says Jacko.
Yeah, people aren't going to remember that Shawn actually picked Halloween 3. They're just going
And
to remember Jacko.
I should have picked
no,
Jacko,
we're joking. Drink
What a twist.
responsibly, folks. Because we've said Jacko like at least 30 times now. So
Jacko.
Mm,
Jacko, watch Jacko. And also
Jack.
watch Halloween and Halloween 3. I am missing more Halloween movies though.
yes. Not TV shows.
And more Rob Zombie movies, original
Let's not
stories.
Okay. That's
With
good
your
enough
wife's
for me.
ass. It's always
Yes.
welcome,
You're cooking right now.
right?
Tight shot, meant to be seen on the big screen.
Not
Oh,
Netflix or Tubi.
Or like David Lynch, you can't watch a movie on your fucking phone. Same with Rob Zombie's wife's ass.
I'm sorry, but I have to agree. I can't watch movies on my phone. I can barely watch it like on my iPad.
Our first guest appearance on the podcast is a landmark.
It's a
I'm very
groundbreaking episode.
I am very appreciative and honored. Thank you.
No, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
It's
joining
been fun.
us and for sharing the
Your Jacko
Halloween
love.
love and your
Jacko.
Jacko love
Yes,
and
absolutely.
and spreading the gospel of Season of the Witch,
Of
which
course.
is an underappreciated movie.
Sure.
Hashtag Jacko lives.
So that's Real Shawn Hunt at Real Shawn Hunt on Twitter and Instagram. And maybe you can find him on Tumblr.
If he's not been
Maybe.
banned again.
His account may be in a purgatory. We're not
Yeah.
sure.
You might
But
still be able to follow it. He can't post, but maybe you can
Yeah.
follow.
Every time I go to post it, I feel that little funk on the phone. It's not
Aw.
letting me. Okay, well, that's that, I guess.
Hit follow on Tumblr. It'll be like laying flowers on a grave.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not bragging, but I may have like 50 followers on Tumblr, so it's
Wow.
I
Hey, you're a
know.
big shot. It's our first
That's
celebrity guest here, right?
I have 0 followers on Tumblr, so I'm impressed.
I
I've done.
picked up 3 in the last 6 months, so
Probably
just
because I
saying.
don't have a Tumblr account.
I have a few, but I don't know if there's a way to check your follower number. But I'll
I
check every few months if I've got notifications, but I don't know about followers.
You might actually have 40 or 50 like me.
It says I follow 53. Don't know about the follow count though.
well, see?
But yeah, we're both pretty big on Tumblr, is what we're
I'm
saying.
a Tumblr noob.
But being Tumblr famous translates to nothing in the real world, so
Well, just like being Twitter famous.
Yeah.
Translates to nothing in the real world.
Damn.
Anywhere on social media, for that matter.
We're going to be promoting this on social media though.
We are. So, not too
This
much on
matters.
social media.
The body count continues matters, and listening to our
does.
podcast and hitting like and subscribe. That definitely helps.
Social media matters because that's how we promote our podcast.
Yeah. Maybe rate us 5 stars. I mean, it won't matter to Marianne, but it'll matter to me.
No, what he said. Subscribe, like 5 stars, all of that.
Glaze us.
lots of love.
Calm
Follow
down.
Shawn as
Love.
well.
What?
I said follow Shawn as well. Do you disagree
Yes,
with
follow. Yeah, no, I didn't hear what you said. Follow Shawn as well.
that?
And
What do you mean follow Shawn? Get the
What?
fuck out of here.
I didn't hear. Oh my God. This edit is going to be my nightmare.
It's funny because my followers go up and down like the stock market. I always feel like it's people coming on, seeing my type of sense of humor, and then they're like, "Boo," then
Well, fuck
You,
them.
you should have more
Exact.
followers, really, considering how often your stuff's ripped off and reposted on Facebook and shit. Go to the source, guys.
People
Follow
just
Real
find a
Shawn
way to
Hunt.
make it so controversial. But this has been our Halloween episode. It's not going to drop on Halloween, though. It's going to drop a few days before.
It's our Halloween week episode.
It's our Halloween week episode. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. What a magical day. You know what that means, don't you, Marianne?
What that means, dear listeners, is that we'll see you next Tuesday.